Yeah, I'm doing it right now.
Mic check, mic check.
Check that. Woo, 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 woo. Turn this on D&D.
How was Columbia? It was cool, you know. It had some good views out there. I went there during Holy Week, you know. They Easter, so a lot of the spots was closed.
Oh, we're live on YouTube.
Yeah, we live.
Nice. What's up, YouTube? How we doing? Hey, how you doing? Oh
Loud and
man, it's a
clear.
beautiful day to have a beautiful day.
Oh man, I agree. I agree. We doing big things, you know. We working. I'm enjoying the process. You know, I feel like a lot of people they try to get to that destination, not knowing, man, you got to enjoy the process. So some days I get up and I got a lot of work to do, and I just say, you know, I'm gonna enjoy this process.
That's a great way to look at it because, these last 2 weeks, I've been learning a lot,
Yeah.
creating this podcast with you, what it takes to really put this together. It really takes an army to really make this thing shake. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know if the average person can. I think they can. You don't need all the big flashy stuff to really start making content.
Nah, you don't.
You just really need a cell phone. But like this is a whole production. Like
Nah,
we're
that's for
doing
sure.
this at the highest level.
Yeah.
This isn't no mediocre podcast. This is big boy shit.
Yeah. It's gonna pay off though. It's definitely gonna pay off. You putting a whole lot of work in, but one of those things I could say too, just doing content, you know, how much character growth it is to be doing a podcast, doing content, having employees, all of that. You know, it really build a lot in you, a lot of good characteristics. You know, they say stress management is the ceiling of your potential. So the more stress, the more stuff you put on your plate, eventually it becomes normal. Then you just a higher level individual. And most people can't stomach it. Most people, they would break down on all the pressure, all the things you got to do to make this shit work. But I invite it, you know, because all the highest level people I know, they doing a million more things than me. And that's why they high level. Y'all out there, y'all be running from the anxiety, you run from the work, and that's why you're not gonna grow. You got to go through it.
When people are running, you say people are running from the anxiety. What things are they running to? Are you talking vices, shitty food,
Man,
sex?
not even just that. I'm talking about like they just running back to the comfort. You know, like you could jump out there and do content, but it's too hard, or you not getting the likes, or you worried about what, yeah, good looking. You worried about what people gonna say, so you running back to the comfort because it's uncomfortable. You know, and like a lot of the dudes that I coach, the biggest thing that I help with them is when they trying to run back to that comfort, I identify that that's what they doing. And that's what the majority of the world does. And that's why the majority of the world is average, not living what they want to live, not driving what they want to drive, because they kept on going back to that girlfriend, kept going back to their baby mom, kept going back to that comfortable house, you know, that was easy, instead of jumping out there in the unknown where it's anxiety. Man, I lived with anxiety even now in my stomach 24/7 until it becomes normal. But that's why I had so much growth in certain periods when I was living with anxiety in my stomach 24/7. And you know what that does for me? It forces me to do my daily blueprint. Because under that anxiety, man, you got to meditate, you got to work out, you got to read the right things, you got to center yourself. So it just forces you to keep growing. Most people ain't gonna do it.
That's why people self-sabotage.
Facts.
Yeah, it's
Because it's you kind of get to a point where it's like, I don't really want it to work, because then I won't have to keep going through this. You know, it's a lot. You got people relying on you, then you got more bills. It's like, if I fail, it's a lot of people counting on me that's not going to be able to eat no more. It's a lot of people watching me. People like, well, what if I do it and I fail in front of everybody? Well, most people will say, I ain't even going to try.
Well, that's why people self-sabotage, because they do everything but work on themselves.
Yeah.
That you work on that stupid ass car that you're trying to put together. You work on your fucking lawn that you want to look good for your neighbors. You're working on your relationship at home. You're working on everything but yourself. So until you start working on yourself, you're going to keep being in this sick fucking vicious cycle that's fucking you in the ass. So until you're tired of getting, boinked in the ass, you're going to just, like I said, keep running in circles. The work instills the worth. So until you put in the work, the self-worth is never going to be there, and you're just going to get comfortable living in self-sabotage. And the reason why you love self-sabotage is you got to look back to your inner child. Something for me is I've been in therapy for about a year now, and I had to figure out why I liked being every time I was doing good, why I would bring myself back to self-sabotage is because my comfort zone was that fight or flight mode.
Yeah.
So fight or flight mode is dopamine too.
Yep,
Like
yep.
if you're high. So when you start to get outside of that and you see things are going real good, and it all stemmed back to when my mom was like an alcoholic and I was getting yelled at and things were fucked up at home. So if things are going good for me, I'm like, this doesn't feel normal.
Yeah.
So bring my normal is hectic. My normal is drama. My normal was fucked upness. So anytime I start doing good, I bring me back to there. And once you learn to break that, that's really where life starts. So you want to be living in the edge of your comfort zone, whatever your comfort zone may be, that's where your life is going to start.
Man, that's a fact. And it's the human brain tries to keep you safe. So anytime you get uncomfortable, it's trying to bring you back to your comfort zone. And it's going to make up reasons that sound legitimate to you in your mind because it's trying to protect you from the unknown. Because in the unknown, back in the day, you could get killed. So it's like you got to understand that your mind is going to come up with all the things that make sense why you shouldn't keep moving forward. And that's why it's important to have a coach, because from outside, you can't see the picture from inside the frame. That's why you can solve all your friends' problems. You know exactly what this person should be doing, because from the outside looking in, you have none of those emotions attached to it. That's going to convolute the situation. That's why the biggest battle is really your mind and getting ahead. The thing that I see with it, the biggest problem is your mind. And that's why I have the daily things to try to keep my mind right, keep my mind clear, keep my frequency elevated, because in that state you can see clearly. Otherwise, it's going to be so convoluted, it's going to be easy to go back to the comfort zone.
And you have a blueprint where these people can go by, right?
Yep, the millionaire blueprint. I've spent hundreds of thousands of dollars with all the highest level individuals. And if you look at all of their processes, they all have these overlapping habits. So it's like if all of these super successful people have a daily routine that keeps their mind, their body, and they head clear, man, I feel like everybody should be doing it.
Yeah, definitely. And that's like the cool thing about me and Goldie is like, if you want to work with us, we're creating a community where you guys can come, chat with us and learn from us. We're going to be doing bi-weekly calls here pretty soon. We're putting all this together right now. You guys, it's really cool that you guys get to see this. This is just the beginning of what we're working on with the Game Gods podcast. But right now, Goldie literally has in his bio so many different ebooks and so much game that you guys could buy damn near. He's giving this game away cheap,
Yeah, the price is going to be going up soon.
Yeah.
GoldieRatio.com. Somebody said, where did you learn to get chose with your mouth closed philosophy? Man, through life. I learned it through life. One of the earliest ways that I learned it, I always tell the story about my uncle and getting chose like who likes you. But I mean, that shit goes way deeper. We just had a whole podcast we did with Nima talking about that. How getting chose is really just making sure that the person that you get with values you. And guess what? The person you're chasing 9 times out of 10 isn't going to value you, right? Because I say it all the time. If you walk into a club, a woman walks into the club, there's a man that she saw that she like, damn, that man is fine. That man ain't going to have to come up to her, spit a whole bunch of lines, buy her flowers, this, that, and the third. I just want to find the woman that I am that in her mind. If I'm not that dude that woman said when she walked into the club, I don't want her, because really I'm the second choice. She really wants that man. She might settle for me. I want the woman who sees me a value. Your relationship is always going to be better off. The percentage of that relationship working is going to be a lot higher than that woman that you was chasing. So that's where the get chose with your mouth closed guide is. It's about putting yourself in position to be discovered and finding the woman who sees you of value from the gate instead of trying to convince her. It's really that simple.
That way you don't have to lead with your money all the damn time because you feel invaluable in every other aspect of life. A lot of men out here, they lead with their hand, what Goldie says all the time.
Yeah.
You guys got to quit leading with your money, because that's just going to set you up for failure, because the way you start is how you finish.
Man, whatever you lead with, you feel like is the most valuable about you. Now, Hey man, I got the tools, I got things. Of course, I'm gonna adorn myself and I'm gonna look nice. That's just a reflection to me of what's inside of my mind that you can't see. So of course, I'm gonna look the part, but I'm not out here trying to give it to the woman so she likes me. You know, that's a deficiency within yourself because you don't feel like it's nothing else valuable about you. Are you talking about the things that you like? Or are you talking about the things you think are valuable in yourself? And when you lead with yourself, it's gonna be easy to maintain. That's why a lot of dudes they'll get a woman, then it fizzles out real quick. Because what are you gonna do after you done leading with the money? You don't even know what to do because you didn't catch it with you. I catch it with me, I hold it with me. So it's an easy relationship. I get with a woman who wants me so bad, I could just be me. I don't gotta be hella talkative. I don't gotta be doing the shucking and jiving, a big personality. I could just be me because that's how I caught her. You know, have you ever been? Look, I'll be in a club and I'll be like, man, I wasn't giving that broad no real conversation. I was kind of tired. And she called me the next day, like, oh, I had such a good time last night. Why? Because she likes me. It didn't matter really what I said. She already decided she likes something about me. So then when you get with the woman and it's day to day, you don't have to be trying so hard and she happy to be there. That's the best type of relationship where I could just chill. It'd be some women I don't even want to do nothing with because it's like, man, she gonna want to do this and that. And I got to turn it on. I don't want to have to turn it on. It's a woman I could call right now. She could come over and I could just be chilling. I don't got to think about, well, let me make it entertaining for her to be over here. She's going to be happy just to be in my space. And that's because she see me a value.
What's that feel like to be able to be so confident in yourself and just to know that you don't have to be a fucking court jester and do all these backflips and tricks and
Man, I think it's one of the reasons I have so much energy. I feel like most people, they're always tired. They're always not having much energy because they're spending so much energy putting on this character and it's exhausting. So you exhaust yourself mentally trying to put on this character all the time. When you don't have to put on that character, man, you got a lot more energy in life, you know?
that feels amazing. They got some good questions for us.
Man, come on with some good questions. Come on with some super chats. Somebody said the lens is dirty. Tell me if the lens is dirty. How do I get on the show, man? We're not really having people on this show that we don't feel like are at a certain level to come on, but you know, we gonna start having packages to where if you want to come on, get spotlighted, your business, get some clips, and that'll really build your social media, man. The best way to build your social media is through collaborations, not through ads, not through any of that. It's getting on a show or a platform like this, getting our audience, getting our credibility immediately, and getting on our pages and getting put out there like that. So if you got your money right, don't come if you ain't got your money right, man. If you're trying to get on a show like this for free and you ain't built no social media, you ain't built nothing up, man, understand that you're trying to look to take value. Why would we do that? You know,
It's
so
damn near
come, yeah,
disrespectful.
so come put your money down and then you can get the views, the credibility, and turn it into something.
Yeah, guys, our clips are going viral. We started the Game Gods podcast page about 9 days ago. We've already done 2.1 million views in 9 days. We had over 49,000 story shares. This isn't just shares in the DMs. 49,000 people shared us on their story. How crazy is that, bro, to
Yeah.
think about?
Yeah.
That's we're doing bigger numbers than your favorite artists. Your
Yeah.
favorite rapper is not even doing that.
Yeah. And the rappers are tuning in too. Somebody said, Goldie, in your opinion, is Miami still popping business wide during hurricane season? See, a question like that to me, I don't even ask myself because through my whole life, even when it's been recessions, even good times, man, whatever happens is because of what I'm doing. And if you already got it in your mind, oh, it might not be nothing going on because of hurricane season, well, there ain't nothing going to be going on. Like, no matter where you at, it's about your frequency and your sphere. You can make something happen in any weather, any condition. And if you don't feel like that, you think it wrong. You're thinking of a situation where everything is going to work. You need to become the type of individual who's going to move in a way where it don't matter what you do, you're going to make it work and you're going to see the opportunities. It's opportunities in a recession. It's opportunities in the good times, the bad times. You just got to be the type of person who has that type of mindset, not just looking for when's the best time. The best time is whenever you go.
That's a powerful statement right there. If anything, you guys should write that down and and memorize that because you know there's no perfect time to start and you don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great. That's like one of my favorite
Man, I
quotes
like
ever.
that. I like that.
You just got to take mass positive action and have a game plan.
Man, that
Don't just say I want to drive a Rolls Royce and my goal is to get a Rolls Royce. When you want a Rolls Royce, you need to sit down and figure out how much that down payment is going to be. What color leather do you want the interior to look like? What size rims do you want it? What color do you want it? How much is the insurance going to cost? Okay, cool. Once you figure that out, what are you going to do to get the Rolls Royce? What type of money do you need to be able to make that monthly payment and be able to live comfortably? You feel me? You have to have a legit mapped out game plan. It's so important to do that. And we have a lot of programs that will help you with that mindset and help you get your mind organized and be able to process and put all this shit together.
Man, really the coaching, man. You the average some of the 5 people you hang around most. Do you know what it's like to get on the phone with me? I changed lives in one conversation to get on the phone with me so I can point out everywhere that you slip. And just that mindset that you have right there, to have somebody tell you that right there and say, stop worrying about when the best time to go is. Go now with the right attitude and the right work ethic when you get there. Sometimes that's all you need somebody to say. The mindset that we have is just going to elevate you because we become in your 5 sphere of people that elevates you to this type of thinking, because that's all it is a thinking thing. And I just said this the other day when I was on vacation. I said, man, you talking about in hurricane season, is it good? Man, I operate from a third dimension. It ain't just what I do, it's my thinking when I do it. And I really believe that's really what it is. I had a mentor, he used to tell me, he said, when your attitude is right, the facts don't count. Pretty much, I've made things work that if outside looking in, it shouldn't have worked. Why? Because my mindset was right. My energy was right. My frequency was right. I knew it was going to work. So it's not just about what you're doing. It's the intention and the mindset and frequency you have when you go into it. What are your thoughts? Your thoughts are, because if you go into it thinking that, oh, it's hurricane season, so it's probably not going to be nothing, you're already coloring the world and filtering it like that. If I'm thinking it's going to work, it's going to work. Man, when I first went to Vegas the first time, my uncle took me to when I was young. He told me a story about when he went to Vegas when he was young. He knocked his first girl out the strip club. So in my mind, I believed it so much. When I went there, I knocked one of my first girls out the strip club. Not because it was the best time, because I was the best person, because my frequency was so right. I was so excited. I was like, I knew I was going to do it. And I did it. It's with anything. If you tell somebody to go outside and make a sale, if they don't believe, oh, it's a time where nobody's buying nothing right now, you're going out there with that type of energy. So it's all about your thoughts about the situation. So get your thoughts right, your energy right, your frequency right, and everything is going to work. And things will work in times that you don't think nothing's going to work. You could go to a club and there could be no females in there, and you'll catch one that night just because your thinking was that. But if you go in there, oh, it ain't too many people in here, guess what? You're not going to catch none. It's all about your thinking.
You got to be damn near delusional.
Yeah, you have to.
But in the best way. Don't be delusional, but be delusional in the best way. Yeah, just like what you said, bro. It's like there's been so many times in my life where, you know, I had to trick myself into being positive because I was going through such a negative situation. I have this tattoo on my face. It says Amor Fati. And what this means, it means love of fate or love of one's fate. And the meaning behind it is you look at loss and just a negative situation as a positive in life. So you guys look into what Amor Fati means.
Yeah, you know, in Think and Grow Rich, man, one of the first books I read when I was younger, when I went to jail, he said there's a seed of an equal or greater positive in every negative. And when I read that, I really took that to heart. And I've been running off of that my entire life. I really believe when something negative happens, I'd be like, okay, the universe just moved some around for me. And if you can take the time to learn from that situation, some of the worst situations on the outside looking in that didn't happen in my life, because I had that mindset, they've always been life-changing and a positive for me. That's why I say it's all about your thinking.
Yeah. You know, what we sell over here is we sell mindset and confidence. So once you get both of those right, anything is possible in life. Literally.
Anything they say, somebody said it's blurry.
Which one is blurry?
This is the only one that's on.
Oh. Oh, yeah, it was a little bit blurry.
You know, that dude came over here the other day messing with the camera because my shit was supposed to be audible.
Hey, chat, let us know if it's clear now. I think they said it's better. Chat, give us some good questions.
Yeah, come on. We need some good
Come on
questions.
with the question. How many people do we have in the live right now?
We only got 87.
Okay, that's still really good, though.
Yeah, for midday.
Yeah, for midday, that's great. I bet at nighttime it'd be lit in here, huh?
Always 200 plus 300.
Okay.
That's why I say we got to do some nighttime live. Come on with some questions, some good questions, right? I charge for my time, $200 every 15 minutes. I know somebody in here said, can I get 90 minutes for $500? No, you cannot. I will give you so for an hour, it's normally 800 because it's $200 every 15 minutes, but I'll give you the hour for 500 if you mention this live and book with me.
So $500 per hour they can get with you.
Yep, if they mention this live.
Guys, 500. You get a whole hour's worth of game. That'd change your life. If you work with either me or Goldie, I'm telling you guys, you give us 30 days, your mindset will change, your business will change. We'll teach you how to create a personal brand online. We'll teach you how to make content, everything.
Yeah,
Personal branding. If you don't have a personal brand on in 2025, what are you doing?
Yeah, you losing, and you're gonna need a coach because you're gonna have all of these doubts. You're gonna it's gonna be a bunch of things that happen that are gonna make you feel like it's not working, and you're gonna need somebody to say you're just not doing enough. You don't have a blueprint. You're not sticking to your blueprint, and really that's why I stayed doing what I was doing because I had a mentor who was doing it every day. He was showing me what you need to be doing. So if I wasn't doing it, I wasn't getting discouraged like most people would. Oh, it ain't working. Oh, this ain't gonna work. No, I'm just not putting enough work in. And sometimes you just need somebody to tell you, like, you're not doing the work. I mean, I think it's imperative because if you already had the discipline and the consistency to stick to a blueprint, you'd already be there already. So you don't got that. So get a coach that's going to guide you and keep you on track when all those doubts come in. Man, I coach a bunch of people who every week I do my weekly calls on Sunday, talk about how I'm changing their life. They got dudes moving from Texas to New York, doing different things. And it's only the fact that they're able to tap in with me regularly to get that motivation, to get that mind, to tell them to stop worrying about the doubts that keep them on track. So do it or don't do it. It don't make no difference to me. I'm just saying, if you want to get us, you can get it.
Yeah, especially if you have a service-based business. Look, if you're a barber, you're a lash tech, you have car detailing service, any service-based business, and you're not making content regularly on the daily, like you don't want to be successful in your business. You don't want it that bad. You just want to be an average Joe. You want to live an average life, and you want to make average money. If you really like, someone's like, "Oh, I need a film crew. I need someone to come film it." No, you don't. This right here can make you a multimillionaire literally in 90 days. 90 days.
Yeah, facts.
Like, for example, when I first, like, I was doing things I wasn't supposed to be doing before I started making content, right? And there was one point where I was driving down the road. I just got robbed for $500,000 allegedly. And I took both my cell phones and I threw them out the window. And I went home and I told my significant other at the time, we are going to do social media content and we're going to do it full time. And there's no plan B. In When you start doing things with intention, the world just starts to just like mold itself to you.
Man.
I hit 1 million followers on TikTok in the first, I think it was like 6 months. First 6 months. I hit 7.2 million followers in the first 3 years. And then I grew 1.5 million on YouTube. But I don't have those channels anymore. I gave those to her because as a man, I know that I could do it all over again. She's the mother of my child, so I just let her have it. It's better to just not fight, and all that energy I just put back into myself. Just let her keep
Hey,
the
what
shit.
you saying is important. I tell dudes that I coach all the time, man, you got to decide. It's the fact that you have other avenues that you're not putting all your energy into one. And I really believe every time in my life when I was like, all right, I'm done with that and I'm fully committed, not just saying it, but in my soul, I decided that this is the route I'm going to take. All of a sudden, the universe put things in place. I start to see different opportunities. I feel like until you make that conscious decision, honestly, in your soul, that I'm done with all of this and I'm focused on this one thing. Until then, nothing else is going to work. You're not even going to put your best foot forward. Soon as something get hard, you're going to start thinking about something else. And you're not even going to go hard enough in what you're doing when you in the back of your mind, you got other options. But when this is the only option you got, man, what's the saying? You got to burn the boats. I really believe you have to make that conscious decision of what you're decided, what you're going to do, what you're going to be before things really start working out for you. And a lot of people, they haven't even sat down long enough to decide, write out, or be clear about what they want. That's why one of the first things in my program is, man, we have to decide what it is that you want. Who do you want to be? You have to be clear about it. Because if I'm trying to go to New York from California, if I don't have that destination clear, man, any road will take me somewhere. But if I'm clear about where I'm going, then I know if this move is going to take me closer or farther away. And that's why most people are in life. in the middle of the ocean drifting because you have not
Fucking
decided
willy-nilly.
where you want to be yet. It's too vague. We got some super chats, some good questions for us.
What's a super chat?
Where they pay money for the question.
All right, so look, guys, if you have a question you wanted to get answered, make sure that you guys. How much is a super chat?
They could do it as low as $5 up to $100. We got
Okay,
a $5
cool.
and a $20.
Well, we appreciate any donation at this point.
They appreciate it. G Reactions, $20. He said, I stopped listening to bullshit. Got your videos on repeat, and even though it's 1,000 crumbs, shit's starting to change around me. Appreciate your content. Let these people know ain't nobody coming to save you in this life but yourself. Man, that's facts, man. We out here really, listen, we have very high level 100 millionaire plus mentors. The information is different. So when you hear us talking, it's just not, oh, because I said it. It's because many mentors of mine and his on very high levels, this is the mindset that they've been teaching us that we've implemented in our life that works. And if we would have never got this situation, this information, we'd be in the same situation as you. The information has literally changed my life. So the shit we kicking is stuff that you really need to take on. Somebody said, what if I have a shorty that's a business owner, but she said she would never hire a significant other, but wants to ask me for my ideas, but I won't give it to her? Am I wrong? Man, y'all both wrong. Y'all in a situation that you shouldn't be in. There's no woman that I've ever had who didn't. I have to tell my women sometimes, no, I don't want to be a part of your business. I'll give you some game. I'll give you this and I'll give you that. But I don't want to be a part of your business because I don't feel like once I become a part of your business, it's going to be certain expectations and requirements, and that might put a strain on it. So I'd rather just give you my game, give you my insight. And then, later down the line, if I really wanted to, I could. There's never been a woman that would tell me, oh, no, if she doesn't want you to be a part of her business, man, she don't see a long-term future with you, and she's selfish. Why would a woman not want her man to be a part of the things that she's building and growing with her money? Women are selfish, and it really just shows she don't trust you, or she don't like you like that, or she don't see a future with you. I've never had a woman that I'm dealing with not want me to be a part of what she's doing. What you think?
I was gonna say, yeah, it doesn't seem like she values your opinion, and like any woman that's ever, wanted to be around me values my opinion more than anyone else in the world. You know what I'm saying? Like from a business mindset. So obviously she doesn't trust you with like she doesn't trust you with your business insight. And that's like it's damn near like a spit in your face. So I'd damn near check yourself and see what you got going on for her not to even be respecting you. Maybe that's like her waking you up to say, like, hey, get your shit together because I don't trust your opinion. And it's like, why is she with you in the first place if she doesn't value your opinion or value you as a man in leadership to help her run that business? And like Goldie said, it's very selfish. So already off the bat, it's gonna be a real one-way street. Her money is her money, and your money is her money. So
Right.
I would check that at the door.
And he said, but she wants to ask me for my ideas. So she wants to get good input from you for her business, but she doesn't want to give you any other benefit. That's a very selfish individual, and you should take those characteristics and understand what type of woman you're dealing with. And really, sometimes you just got to tell a woman how she's acting. Sometimes a woman don't really know what she's doing. Tell her. So you want to ask me for my ideas that could potentially benefit your business, but you don't want me to have any benefit from the business with, even though I'm giving you these ideas. You just say it to her out loud and let her know how that sounds in her mind.
And then also, what are you doing for yourself right now? I'm curious, do you have your own business? What do you do for work? I want to know.
Yeah, because it might be you, but I mean, that's a red flag to me that y'all just not in the situation you should be in. GR's Infantry, good looking on the 499. I do pest control. Do you guys believe lead generation is best or the old fashioned way, footsteps? What you think?
So look, it's so crazy because when I was in Arizona, I just moved from Arizona. I had a guy come to me. He's like, hey, I want you to promote my pest control. So he gave me free pest control for a year. So every time that he would come over to my house, I would film them doing pest control and he would get leads. If I was doing pest control, I would be hammering information, like educational style content on why it's important to have pest control. And I would just be filming day-to-day vlogs, showing how to take care of these problems and just educating your customer. And then for good hooks in the beginning of your videos, I would address certain problems and give those problems a solution in that video, and just really emphasize why people need your service.
No, that's for sure. That's for sure. Let me see. That's the problem outside. You can give all the game you want, but it don't matter if you don't know it.
But yeah, definitely start making content yesterday.
Peace, guy. When campaigning, should I cold approach just because I got game, or say nothing? Debate between me and the older guy who's right. Man, there ain't no right and wrong. You do whatever you want to do. Like I do, I move how I move just because that's how I want to move. But I mean, if I wanted to cold approach, I could do that too. First of all, I already got a lot of women around doing a lot for me, and I'm doing a lot. So I'm not really out here looking for women like that. So therefore, if I'm outside, man, a woman better approach me because I'm not even tripping like that. So, but if you in a position where you ain't got no women, you trying to find a woman, yeah, you could cold approach. You just got to do it with the right energy, so it ain't a thirsty type of energy. Ain't no right or wrong. These is guidelines and frameworks, not rules. What you think?
Yeah, I think too. Yeah, just I think energy. Like I think that's the most important thing is not to be thirsty. A woman could smell when a man is thirsty right away. You're like a dog with his fucking pink thing hanging out. You don't want to look like that.
Nah, that's for sure. Because man, when I go out, it's like this too. If I saw a woman and I'm just like, oh my goodness, she's just gorgeous. She moving in all the right ways. If I felt compelled to say something to a woman, I'm gonna say something to a woman. But I always have it in the back of my mind. I really am only looking for who's looking for me. No matter how gorgeous, bad she looks, and she's moving all in the right ways. I only care if she likes me back. So I'm only saying enough to say, hey, here I am. I'm interested. Are you interested? That's as much as I'm doing. Don't matter what she look like. Because if it ain't like I say all the time, she's choosing me and she like me, I don't want her anyway. I don't care how bad she is. So like I say, and I go into it with that energy. So even if I'm cold approaching and saying hello to a woman, it's with that same energy. Hey, here I am. Do you like me? I'm interested. Are you interested? Yes or no? And if it's a no, I'm on to the next.
Yeah, and 10 times out of 10, these bad ones, they got a million dudes willing to give their left nut to do whatever for her, anyways. So stay away from them and then listen to Goldie. Like who likes you, choose who chooses you.
Man, that's what I'm saying. You can't lose
That's the
like that.
golden rule. Like that, I know that you said there's no rules, but that's a
Yeah.
that's a fucking rule.
Yeah. You can't lose like that, man. If you're
No,
going out trying to convince a woman to like you, you're gonna have to continue to convince her. Now, I'm not saying she don't got to get to know you, but innately, for most of the time, a woman has already decided if she's interested, at least somewhat, to continue the situation. And I'm not gonna convince her to do that. If she don't feel like, hey, yeah, I want to take your number down, even if she tell me like, oh, I'll take my Instagram. Now I'm cool. I'm cool. I don't even want to take your Instagram. I'm not gonna write you on there. Because really think about it. If a woman saw you a value, like, oh, this man got to get on. He look good. He moving right. I like his energy. I like his swag. I like the cologne he wearing. Why she not gonna take your number? Is she only not gonna take your number if she unsure? And if you unsure, then guess what? I guess this ain't gonna work.
yeah, and exactly. So it's a huge time suck. So you have to be careful where you're putting your time and energy, because number one, first, if you're a parent, it's taken away from you being a parent. If you're a business owner, it's taking your time away from your business. So don't go chasing pussy all the fucking time. And another thing is too, I saw this video yesterday. This guy said you shouldn't be having sex if you don't have $1 million in the bank. What do you feel about that?
I mean, I would say yes and no. It's like you shouldn't be having sex if you don't got $1 million in a bank account. But we got to remember, the average individual ain't even trying to get rich. And this was a hard concept for me to even realize one day. Like everybody ain't out here trying to be entrepreneurs, get rich like us. So for me to tell the average guy who don't even got aspirations like that to say, oh, well, don't have sex until you got $1 million, man. That's a lot of people out here. They're not even chasing that. But if you are chasing bigger goals, you should put your focus on your bigger goals, not even just a money thing. I feel like y'all worried about the women so much because you don't have anything more important going on. When you get a big enough purpose or something that you're working on yourself, even if you're just trying to get the ultimate body in the gym, guess what? Your focus is going to go towards something more important. But when you have nothing important going on, then you treat women like people treat drugs or entertainment. It's just an outlet for dopamine because you're bored. But when you get a real purpose, even if it's just you, ain't even the money, man, you should be focusing on your purpose first, the woman second, unless the woman is adding to your situation.
Yeah, and when you're working on yourself, you're going to attract the right woman that comes in your life at the exact right time that you need them.
Now that's a fact.
You
I
know,
tell people all the time, man, you're trying to attract a woman on the level you're at, a level you should be passing. And guess what? What type of woman is that? Then she's just gonna hold you back. You should be working on yourself in every way to get to a certain level. Then you attract a higher level woman anyway.
it's
You
so
know?
it's so crazy that you just said that you had to realize that not all of us are out here trying to,
This shit is
become
crazy. Yeah.
multimillionaires. In my head, that's just nuts. But
Yeah.
there is people out here that are just really just come home, put on the Netflix, wake up the next day, and then just, you know what I'm saying? Go
Yeah.
right
Yeah.
back to work, come home, put on the Netflix, jump out of bed, and then
Yeah. So
go
for
to work.
for
You say
for, for
that?
you, if that's what you want to do, hey, do what you want to do. So you may not be chasing $1 million. You get what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
And if that's you, you're watching the wrong.
Yeah, you're watching the wrong podcast. I mean, even still, you should at least be working on something. You should have a hobby. You should have a goal, because what they say, you don't try to stop doing the wrong things. You just have something greater that makes everything else in comparison fall to the wayside. When you really, it's like you eating bad all day. If you on vacation or you busy working, running here, running there, handling this, handling that, you're not even thinking about food, right? So it's like, because you have a bigger purpose that day, all the lesser things fall to the wayside. You ain't thinking about sex. You're not thinking about that problem somebody gave you. You're not thinking about the bad food. All the things lesser are become less important. You don't have to stop doing them, So when you got a big enough purpose, all the lesser things fall to the wayside. You don't even think about them.
It's so crazy. I don't remember the last time that I thought about sex. The only time that I ever have sex is just, these women, they initiate it.
Yeah.
I don't
Oh,
go chasing it.
that's,
So
yep.
it just kind of just falls in my lap. And I'm like, all right, fuck, I'm going to fuck tonight.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah. But that's the same thing with me. I'm so focused on what I'm doing. It's like, women damn near have to beat my door down for it and make it a big deal.
Yeah. Like,
And that's why
do
you
you
really
not
get it.
like me? I'm like,
Yep.
oh, no, wait. Come
And
over here.
right. Oh, sometimes I feel like a chore. Like,
Yeah, fuck.
like,
Like, all right, fuck it. Come over here. Suck this dick real quick.
yeah. But man, women like that. If a man got too much time on his hand, man, I just had a woman on here the other day. She had a man, he had both of his women here, and she told him, she was like, yeah, I don't like a man who's all on me. It's something about a man who's doing this and ain't worried about me that's more attractive. Just is what it is. Because I guess innately, subconsciously, if you got too much time for the woman, what are you really doing in life? You can't be important. You can't be doing nothing important. I mean, you can, but for the most part, that's the signal you're giving off. If I got too much time for you, I must not got time for stuff that actually matters in life.
Yeah, no high value woman wants a man that's just sitting around, just playing with himself all day, trying
Yeah.
to like figure some shit
Because
out.
guess what? Even innately, too, she knows once she gets with you, that man got too much time in his hands to be dealing with women. She'd rather be with a man who's out handling business. So she knows, man, it's going to be hard for somebody to get up on my man because he's busy. He ain't worried about it like that. Let's get to these super chats. Tap In Productions, appreciate it. He said, The Slight Edge is the book I give. One of the most important books I've ever read in life. I feel like all children should read that book to understand how life works. It's really just a book about understanding the laws of the universe. When you plant something, it's going to be a long period of time before it actually produces. And if you can't understand that in everything that you're doing to start work and stay consistent with the same amount of energy in that work for a long period of time before you see something, you'll never be successful in life.
So delayed gratification.
Yeah.
And that's something that we talked about too, is just operating at the high. Look, you may not have the perfect plan, but if you have some goals and you're operating at the highest level in whatever field you're in, things are going to innately happen for you, and then more goals will come. So just start doing it. Do it the best you fucking can, and then everything is just going to start working itself out.
Man, that's a
like
fact.
this podcast.
Yeah.
Like ever since we started this podcast, everything starts falling into play.
Yeah.
We were looking for an engineer. All of a sudden, the other day, I go do another podcast with my buddy. He's a famous comedian. His name's Kevin Herrera. I go do a podcast with him. All of a sudden, I'm in this other podcast spot, and there's an engineer in there. He's like, "Hey, do you know any other podcasts that might need an engineer?" Matter of fact, I do. My fucking podcast. Falling straight into play.
Man, it happens, man. The universe opens doors once you start down the path. That's why they say jump and you grow rings on the way down. But most people are too scared to do that. I'm still scared when I do it, but I just trust that it's going to work, or I'm going to make it work. That's the mindset that I have.
Yeah.
There's
nothing that me and Goldie have ever done to where we haven't been successful in. So you guys are definitely going to be learning from two very high level individuals.
And it's one of those things too, what you don't understand is everything you've done up until this point, you've learned something. Even in my past profession, everything you do, you're learning something, and if you look at most entrepreneurs, even Alex Hermosi, he was like, he had like 1,000 or like 10 different businesses he started that failed. But what you don't understand is each one of those things, he learned something that enabled him to be successful now. So it's like, you need to start doing something. What you start might not be the thing you finish in, but you're going to learn something through that, learn something about yourself, learn some work, and something that's going to help you in the next thing, man. When I started doing this journey, man, I wasn't doing anything that I'm doing now. But through the process, I learned different things, did different things, and it evolved into something else. But you got to take the action. Most people are waiting for the perfect thing. And all right, we all know how that ends.
It's so crazy because Alex Hormozy was my biggest competitor back in like 2014,
Oh, yeah.
15. Yeah. So when Facebook and Instagram ads first came out, I was working with gyms. So do you know who Uriah Faber is?
No.
You're from Sacramento. So Uriah Faber is a super big UFC fighter, and he was my first client ever. And I got him crazy results. I was getting him leads for pennies on the dollar. Like this is right, like I said, when Facebook and Instagram ads ever first came out, and we were getting him leads for like 20 cents. I made him $250,000 his first month off of Facebook and Instagram ads.
Damn.
I brought this to them, and they looked at me like I was fucking nuts.
Yeah.
I'm like, look, just give me $5,000 and trust me. His salespeople were so busy, they hired me for like a whole year. And then after that, I started working with like all the other gyms in like the greater Sacramento area.
Yeah.
And then I seen Alex Hormozy. I saw one of his Facebook and Instagram ads of how he was doing the same things for gyms.
Yeah.
And it was hilarious because I was like, fuck this guy.
Man.
Like, this is my space.
Man.
And then I quit.
And look at him now.
And look at him now.
Yeah.
He kept going.
Somebody said, that's great, Goldie, but are the women a part of your business? Man, every woman that deals with me is going to be an asset, man. I bring my women on these podcasts. They be the ones getting my content. You know, my women will go pick up my cars, getting wrapped. She need to handle that. Hey, go call this person. A woman dealing with me, she's going to be useful. And if she's not useful, I'm not dealing with her. So every woman somehow, some way is assisting everything I'm doing. Everything that I'm doing is better because the women around me, they're helping in some way. And women will help me in a way that I wouldn't even help myself. They'll be like, oh no, you should get up and you should go do this right now when I'm tired. Or they'll be like, oh, well, I'm gonna go get you this outfit, or you need to go get a bigger chain. Or they, women will add to your situation if you let them know, listen, you got to be useful. I let women know you have to be useful over here. So when you make that a requirement, they're gonna come out the woodwork of ways to help you. But you don't ask your woman for nothing. You just let her sit around and do nothing, man. I'll get pissed and I'll start to resent my woman, and I'll tell her, what are you doing around here? Because most of this I could do myself. So what are you doing? And if you're not doing it, and I make it really clear like that. Are you bold enough to make it that clear to your woman?
And that's a problem. People don't have communication with their significant other. And then, like you said, they start to sit there, they start laying in bed at night, and then they start to get further and further and further apart. And then all of a sudden you guys are sitting there while you're all pissed off at each other. It's because you guys don't know how to fucking communicate.
Man, communication is big, man. Even like if my woman like do something to where she irritated me and I got to raise my voice, I'll tell her, I say, if you wouldn't hear, I wouldn't feel like that, right? So what is the benefit of you being here if I just got irritated? And if you weren't here, I wouldn't be irritated. And that's what I'm thinking about right now. So I'm going to start thinking about why you're here. And maybe you won't be here in 6 months. I'll let her know that, because sometimes it has to be clear. If the only time that I'm getting upset is when you're here, then if you weren't here, I wouldn't get upset. So why are you here? And I'm starting to think that. So I'm letting you know what I'm starting to think. So if it continues to happen, I know that you're okay with leaving. But if you don't know that, you're not communicating that,
That's your problem.
Yeah.
That is
let's see. That said, Goldie, I'm confident in my skills, but around high level people, I feel unworthy in those positions. What are the gaps between confidence and self-worth? Go ahead and answer that.
Man, that's where it really boils down to, is like the work instills the worth. I think true self-confidence comes from surviving risks. And that's something that I had to learn early on, is like, I had to, like Goldie said, you got to jump, and you just got to know the wings are going to come on the way down. That's where, what's the saying? When preparation meets the situation, it leads to, something very successful. You just need to keep working on yourself and become the person that you admire in all aspects of life. And you need to know what you're talking about. Don't just come out here and try to guess. But sometimes it is good to throw yourself in that situation, because you're going to learn from it. Even if you do fuck it up, you're going to be ready for the next situation and any situation after that.
Man, I think that's important. I had a mentor, he used to say, what'd he say? You got to put yourself in rooms that you don't deserve to be in, because that's where you grow at. If you're always only in rooms where you're the top person, it's those situations where you're in those rooms that you're not confident that makes you grow. You should feel uncomfortable because you're not competent, which is going to make you do the work. Well, shoot, I'm not comfortable in this situation because I don't know as much as everybody. I need to know more. I need to do more. I need to dress better. I got somebody who's in my program right now and he's going into a sales meeting. He's like, man, I feel like I need to. I'm like, yes, you need to look the part. So that's an element of it. So, and if you feel like you that competent and you still not confident, I would say you're probably not as competent as you think. Because if you were really that competent, if you really was rehearsing whatever you need to rehearse and you had it dialed in, knew exactly what you were talking about, you wouldn't feel like that.
Yeah.
So you should just look at it as I need to get better. And that's a good thing. I don't feel like we should ever be feeling too confident, because then you'll stop trying to learn. So then, hey man, you got to look somewhere to work.
You got to forever be a student of life.
Yeah.
That's super important. You don't want to be the smartest person in the room ever.
And then, you still in those situations, you got to do it like you do women, put your gang guard glasses on and really break her down to understand that she's just a human being. Sometimes you could go into those spaces and overvalue these people because of what you have in your mind. You got to understand they put their pants on one leg at a time as well.
Yeah, you got to remember, everyone started at zero, even me and Goldie. So a good quote too is from this book by T. Harv Eckert, Secrets of a Millionaire Mind. He has these things called declarations that you read to yourself each and every single day. And one of them is ready, fire, aim. So essentially what that's saying is just take action and then figure the shit out.
Yeah, man, you have to do it like that. And even now, I'll get in situations where I'm not fully comfortable and confident, and I know that's where the growth is.
Yep.
And really, it's all these mentors that say stuff that I love, right? It's like whatever you're avoiding, that's where you're gonna get the most growth. Whatever you're scared to do, wherever you say, I'm scared to do that, that's an identification. That's where you need to work. That's where you're gonna get the most growth, the most character growth in your life. So if it's a scary situation, put yourself in it, man. You can grow more. I had a mentee of mine. He just told me, he was like, man, I done grew more in the last 2 months than I have in like the past 5 years, because I've been consistently forcing him into uncomfortable conversations and situations. What's going on over there? We still on.
Okay. Yeah, but it's super important just to really put yourself out there and just completely make yourself feel uncomfortable constantly. Like I said, life starts at the edge of your comfort zone. So until you put yourself there, you're gonna just be stagnant. You're gonna just keep living that same lifestyle. You're just gonna keep, having the same average everything until you really just, like I said, put yourself out there. And man, it just jump off the fucking cliff already and just go.
People have been running from.
Okay.
From that their whole life.
Mm-hmm. Yes, for me, honestly, I was stuck in this 9 to 5 lifestyle until about 26 years old, until I had a mentor come and be like, dude, you've been doing it all wrong. I never learned anything until I found someone that was more high level and that brought me out of my comfort zone and put me in situations. I remember his name was Darren Sadler. And he's like, look, you got 2 options. He's like, you can continue the life that you're living, or you quit your job tomorrow, you leave your girlfriend, you leave your apartment, and you move with me to San Diego. And it was my boy Chase Underwood too. I quit my job that day. I left my girlfriend and I left my apartment.
Yeah.
Everything. I left everything behind. And I moved to San Diego. And they literally made me so uncomfortable. I was sleeping on a couch. I read my first books with them. They taught me how to become an entrepreneur. Literally in the first month there, they're like, look, you're going to make money out of thin air. I said, how? He said, figure it out. So he gave me like a little bit of game. He's like, look, my mom's a house cleaner. She makes, $20,000 a month, and made a whole team. So what I did, I went on Craigslist and I started posting ads. And I said, hey, if you're looking for your house clean, whoop, whoop, whoop. I had an Airbnb owner reach out to me. I made $5,000 my first month cleaning Airbnbs.
Man, gotta get into those uncomfortable situations. One of my mentors in his program was like $30,000 for the weekend, but the mentorship continued, and I got it in the Millionaire Blueprint. It was like we had to submit every week everything that we were doing, and every single day on the list in the blueprint was, what did you do today to get uncomfortable? And literally in the first month, forcing myself every single day to find something to do that was uncomfortable. I mean, just so much growth, because we don't understand how many things a day that we go out our way to stay in our comfort zone, not knowing those uncomfortable situations are where you're gonna grow at.
You want to know one of the best ways to make yourself uncomfortable every day?
Yeah.
Cold plunge.
Yep.
Cold plunge. I fucking hate the cold plunge. That's just cold as a bitch. But that shit will bring you right back to your center and it will make you so uncomfortable and it'll just pull you straight into the present. There's nothing, I don't think there's anything else in life that will bring you more present than a cold plunge. Maybe a motorcycle because you have to be in the present. Because if you're going fast on a motorcycle and you're weaving in and out of traffic, you have to be present or else you're gonna fucking die. Same with a cold plunge. It shocks your body so much, and you have to focus on your breathing, and you have to be in the present moment, or else you're gonna hyperventilate and you're gonna want to get out.
Yeah.
Because you're fighting your thoughts the whole time. So you gotta kill all those thoughts, and you have to bring yourself to a point to where you solely have to focus on fighting that cold sensation.
No, I feel
And I
like
think
that's
the
a great
cold plunge
practice.
is like great daily practice if you can have it.
Yeah.
And don't think that you can't afford the cold plunge because there's a lot of gyms that have it now. There's a lot of places where you can go sign up for, you know, $30, $50 membership a month and be able to go use cold plunges. So don't use it as an excuse, or just go buy like 30 bags of ice. If you're watching this, go put it in your fucking bathtub and just go sit in that bitch just to make yourself uncomfortable today.
Yeah, man, because it's all about the mindset, that discipline, your mindset. Also, you know, doing the hard things, waking up early, not because you need to, because it's hard to do and most people can't. It just rewires your brain to be able to do hard things. And then hard things become less hard because you're used to doing hard things. Because we so much in our comfort zone. I heard somebody say, he was like, man, 100, 200 years ago, if we live like this, you're living like the average king lived 200 years ago. So basically, you got to fight against human nature to be successful, because human nature says you're trying to get comfortable. We're so comfortable in this day and age, you have to fight against human biology to get uncomfortable. That you're not, we weren't built to do that. So therefore you have to be damn near crazy to go out your way to find adversity, because that's what it's going to take to be successful.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, like you said today, like everything is meant to make us more comfortable. Sitting ourselves in front of the TV, you know, having food at our convenience, being able to go get our fucking nails done at the nail salon, to having Uber and Lyft, to everything is meant to make us complacent and more comfortable. So, like you said, you really gotta go hunt for adversity.
Go
So,
out
cold
your
plunge,
way.
you need to go to the gym. You need to force yourself to wake up early. You got to force yourself to not eat those sugars. You got to force yourself to eat healthy. You got to force yourself to do a lot of things. So, because they make it so convenient for us to just get lazy, and that's what they want for us. Because if we were living in our true power as a man, we'd take this bitch over,
That's a
and
fact.
we would
That's
be
a fact.
having it our way, because we are the way we are,
Man, that's
and
a
we
fact.
want that for y'all. We want you to be having it your way. So that's why we're telling you to go do these things, telling yourself to make yourselves
Why they need a
uncomfortable.
community like ours to be around this, you
Yeah,
know, because
man,
when
go
I was
click that
coming
link in
up,
the bio and go
there's
sign up.
there's no way that I would have just woke up one day and said, I'm a king, I'm a god, these women need to call me king, god, daddy, and they need to go out and go get something and bring it back. There's no way I would have been able to think like that on my own if it wasn't a community of people already living like that, holding that standard. That's why, you know, your environment is everything. You average some of the 5 people. So when you get around people like us, you get on our phone calls, it raises what you know is possible because other people are already doing it.
Yeah, and if you come fucking with us, we're gonna hold you to a standard that you would have even never thought to ever hold yourself at.
Yeah, if you just by yourself, it's going to be very hard to start to think like this. Somebody said, a girl I'm dealing with, we went on vacation. She covered everything on her own. When we come back, she said she worked, but paying for food for us. I asked for some money. She said she broke. Keep her or leave. Man, I don't even know what you really asked me right there.
Are you trying to say like she held the money over your head when she took you on vacation? What are you trying to say?
Yeah, I don't know what he's saying. Ask it again. Somebody said, what's some game rules that you were taught, but you have since discarded them? Man, that's a good question. A
That
lot,
is a
man.
good
I'm
question.
always reevaluating the things that I've been taught, refining them, and I drop things. As soon as I realize that this isn't good for me or don't make sense, I drop it on a regular basis. And I always try to dig through things that I think and question if they actually right. Because a lot of people, you'll get a certain ideology and you'll run off of it all your life and not even realize it's wrong, but you keep running off it. And I said, man, the wrong ideology could take you back 10 years. If you get the wrong ideology, the wrong teacher, the wrong way to think about something, you don't question it, and you just run off it, you could go down the wrong path. So always be questioning what you think. So a lot of things that I used to think that I realize now, I was young, I didn't know any better, and I've reevaluated. And I see dudes still doing the same thing I used to be doing. And I'm like, from the outside looking, I'm saying that don't make sense. It sounds good and everybody says it, but it actually is stupid. But you haven't really reevaluated what you thought when you was younger. You just keep running off the same thing. So I'm always dropping. And it's things that I may say today, and 2 years from now, I'll be like, nope, that was wrong. I used to have to tell my women that too. I would tell her, I would tell them something, we live by it, then I start doing something else. And she'll say, oh, well, you used to say this. I said, and I've grown up, bitch. So what you want to do? Because I'm not going to stick to something I said just because I said it if now new information changes the situation. So I'm always evolving and growing. And that's why a lot of times you're going to have to drop the woman you with and the friends you with, because it was something in a way that you were living that they agreed with that you don't agree with. And they may not want to make that transition in mindset with you. So you got to branch out on your own, and then you'll find new people who think the new way that you think.
That's some real game right there. Damn. That's some fucking game right
man,
there.
I'm a don't let this shit fool you. I'm a deep thinker. Hey man, y'all gonna see me 2-3 years from now. I'm gonna be looking and sounding completely different. Man, understand, I know what to do. I know how y'all like me to sound. I know when I pop it, I know that y'all gonna like it, man. But I'm a really deep individual.
Yeah, guys, we're going to be on stages. We're going to be on tours soon doing this podcast. Soon, you guys are going to be able to come buy tickets, be able to come meet us, be able to come to our shows. We're going to be doing a whole United States tour here. I say within like a year for real, because
Easy. We got
this
too
shit
much
is
good
blowing
information.
the fuck up.
Too much information. All right, they got a question for you, and then we're going to jump off in a minute.
All right.
They said, how, and they might have to pay for this one. How do I get me and my partner started in OnlyFans? I believe we can make millions, but I need the blueprint. You got to tap in for the blueprint. Like you're asking a question to make millions, and you want that answer for free.
Yeah, just shoot me a DM, man. And then I have like for my own personal mentorship, like one-on-one, it's $5,000 for the month. I'll get you right. I'll teach you how to make the content. I'll teach you how to monetize. I'll teach you how to build a personal brand. I'll teach you how to do everything. But if you guys are watching this right now, I'll cut it down. I'll do 4,000 for you. You know, just come shoot me a DM if you guys want to learn. It's just Kellan Ness. And then yeah, me and Goldie, we will kick you some game. We'll teach you how to make some money and build a personal brand online.
Somebody said, bro, I need to rap with both of y'all. Well, lucky for y'all, we do calls together. We got mentorships together. So if you're really serious, DM one of us, and you know, we'll get you right. It'll change your life.
Also, guys, in probably about a week, we are going to have the Game Gods podcast community. You guys are going to be able to sign up for a monthly membership. It's going to be completely affordable. And it's going to be crazy because you guys are going to get so much fucking value for such a cheap price. But the thing is we actually want to help people. We want to see men do better. We want to see women do better. And it's going to be really cool. We're going to be hosting bi-weekly calls. So every 2 weeks, we're going to be on a call for a whole hour. You guys are going to be able to come on, and we're not going to be doing lives like this anymore because you are going to have to be paying to be a part of our community.
Yep, you're going to have to be in there, and you'll get the game. And then we'll be able to speak a lot freer in something just for the community of people who paying, because y'all actually paying. There's only so much game we can give when you're not paying.
Yep.
Let me see. All right, we're going to answer this question and we're going to jump off. And I say it all the time, man, I give thousands of crumbs, you know, on Instagram and on here, but it takes hundreds of thousands of crumbs just to make up one slice of cake a game. You know, you're missing a lot, man. And when I was younger and I would watch people on YouTube and things like that, when I finally got their mentorships, I realized that I missed so much. And a lot of things they said, they refined their ideologies. And so I was getting outdated and old information. And then some of the things that you may hear, the context behind it is so deep that it's almost dangerous sometimes to get free game because you're not getting it all. And you could get in more trouble with half game than not having any. So you really need to tap in.
Listen to that.
We're going to answer this question and we're going to jump off unless y'all send in a super chat. I moved in with my girl a few years back. She was going crazy at the start, breaking bread, taking me on trips, cooking, cleaning my spot, doing everything I asked. Now she don't do none of that. Why? Probably because of what you're doing. You know, if she was doing a whole lot for you and appreciated you, she would still do it. So what are you doing, or what have you stopped doing? You know, and then sometimes, you know, a woman will start, you know, she'll start to impress you, and then later down the line, she don't need to impress you no more. So you're not elevating, man. You got to constantly, and you're not constantly elevating for her. You're constantly elevating for yourself. Man, my woman ain't never gonna get bored with me because I'm always improving in every area, not just financially, mentally, spiritually, reading this. I'm always doing more. So every time she look at me, I'm somebody different. You got to steady be evolving. Otherwise, anybody gonna get bored. And then, you know, ain't no telling what you're doing. She might have seen you as something before she got with you, then got inside your household and realized you was a regular individual, and you not what she thought. What you think?
I think exactly the same. And then also something Goldie does for his women is like he is doing everything he can to help take their businesses to the
Yep.
next level as well. Like it's really cool to see what Goldie does for one of his girls that she has a big brand online, and it's he's constantly elevating himself, and then whatever, for example, even like me, when he met me, he's like, "Oh, yo, can you do this for my no problem." You know what I'm saying? Like whatever
Yeah.
value I could add, I helped this girl. And it's just cool to see like whatever he has going on for him, he's doing it for, his whole tribe.
Yeah, but
So
you're only gonna want to do that for a woman who really likes you and really loves you and wants to break bread with you. Otherwise, you'll feel like, well, why am I doing all of this if I'm not getting nothing back? Man, my woman right now would give me half her business, wanted to give me half her business, want this, that, and the third. So I'd be like, nah, it's all good because she really deal with me. She really ain't stingy with her money. She really is helping and pouring into me in ways. So therefore, I ain't tripping like that. But if you got a woman and you know she's selfish and you know she's not really breaking bread, and then it's gonna be very hard for you to even want to help her because you're not getting anything out the deal. So man, I would just say, man, you got to be focused on yourself. I wouldn't even worry about what she doing. Worry about yourself and what you doing, right?
yeah,
I'm worried about what I'm doing, and broad better catch up and keep up. That's how. And guess what? When it's like that, she always gonna catch up and keep up because ain't nobody gonna let go of a winning lottery ticket because she see you going places. If she see you ain't going nowhere, it don't matter.
yeah, and probably she probably seen you slipping up on your word. Say, "Oh, you gonna go to the gym," and then you slip up on that. "Oh, I'm gonna eat healthy this week," and then you start
Yeah,
slipping up on that. That's when your word doesn't really hold merit, and then she ain't gonna be taking you serious and be like, "Man, like this dude tricked me.
yeah,
He got me in the house. I was doing this for him. I was doing that for him, and this man can't even keep his word for himself."
man. And a lot of times too, you gotta check stuff. You have to communication. We was just talking about it. The moment she starts slipping on the food, hey, what's up? You used to cook for me all the time. I ain't really feeling that. That's what I really like about you. What's going on? Have you said that to her? And then do you not wait until the second, third month when she stopped doing it to finally say something? Or do you say it the first 2 weeks after she stopped cooking? And hey, that's something I liked about you. That's something that makes me feel good. I want you to keep doing that. And I don't want to have to ask you. Because then at least if she doesn't do it, she don't care about the relationship. I'm going to clearly state what I like, what I don't like. And then I'm gonna let the woman do what she want to do, but at least we're gonna be clear. So when I leave this situation, it's not a oh wow, this was out of nowhere. I'm going to tell my woman when she does something I don't like that. And if you continue to do this behavior, this situation is going to end. So therefore, if she continues to do it, I understand and she understands that she really don't want to be here, and that's fine. At least it's clear. A lot of times it's not clear because you didn't even tell her. She may have just stopped doing it for whatever reason. She didn't know you cared about it like that. So she stopped and you didn't tell her. Now you mad about it.
Yeah. So communication is key because now y'all sitting on the other side of the room just staring at each other with so much animosity. The relationship is damn near awkward. Y'all probably
Yep.
ain't fucking as much. Y'all ain't
Yep.
kissing as
The
much.
resentment is there.
Yeah, the resentment is there. And now you're over here on our YouTube channel asking questions like, why is my bitch not doing this? Feel me?
Yeah. I'm gonna get this last one and then we're gonna go. Somebody said, Goldie, for that one-on-one mentorship, is a payment method active or all up front? I'm trying to figure some things out. It's all up front. It's usually $5,000 or $6,500 for 3 months. Right now, I'm doing a special. So if you come with 2,500, you can get the 90 days. But this gonna be recorded. So 9 times out of 10, that's not gonna be the deal. It's just to the end of the month. So you want to jump in right now, 2,500, you get 90 days with me, the one-on-one mentorship. Otherwise, you don't get it now. $6,500 for the 3 months. And it's all up front. We do payment plans if you get accepted from some of the payment processors. But
Oh, like Afterpay and stuff like that?
yep.
Cool. Nice. Guys, Afterpay is a great way to be able to get in. So that way, if you cannot afford it at the time, the cool thing is all the game that you're going to learn from us. 10 times out of 10, you're going to be able to make that money back just because you carrying yourself different. You got a different confidence to you. You got a different swagger to you. You may not have been able to get that business deal, but after, you do these coaching calls with us, you're going to be able to walk in that room with a different type of demeanor, different type of confidence. You may go knock that girl that, you feel me? Like you're gonna get that money back one way or another with us.
Man, listen, it's life changing. You know,
You had to say the least.
man,
It's
listen,
life
it's
changing.
life changing. If I had this when I was coming up, because I had different mentors when I was coming up, but it wasn't streamlined with all of this type of information. We got information from the highest level individuals, implemented it ourselves, added on to it in so many ways: mindset, business, confidence, the habits, and it takes all of it to be successful. You might go get a business mentor, but you need the habits, you need the mindset. You can get the right course, but if you don't got the mindset, you don't got the clarity, you're not doing these daily things, you're not even going to run it in. You don't have the accountability, you're not going to stick with it. So I mean, it's like I said, life change. You got anything else to add before we jump off?
Yeah, I think the most important thing is to understand that like the real reason why you guys is paying us is to hold yourselves accountable. That's why we charge so much, to see you guys successful.
Yeah.
Because if you ain't paying us, you ain't gonna do the work.
That's a fact. And you know, it's one of those things I say it all the time. Accountability is the number one thing. I can make anybody successful. I can make somebody 300 pounds lose 200 pounds if I'm on them, keeping them accountable, because it's really keeping you aware throughout the day every time you're about to self-sabotage. If every time you was about to eat something bad, you had me right now, slap it out your hand and say, you want to be fat all your life? You would very quickly stop eating those things. But if you're by yourself, you're not going to say that to yourself. Even if you did, you still going to eat it. So just understand the value of it. Somebody sent in a super chat. We're going to do this and jump off.
All right, cool.
Oh, they just wanted to send some money through just cuz. Appreciate you.
That's love.
All right, man. It's another live episode with me and Kels, man.
Hey, shout him out real quick. Who's sending it?
Oh, yeah. Rory Kane. Appreciate it. You know, just some, hey, and the money gonna come back tenfold. You know, you giving your tithes right now. You know, you letting them do the world know that you are of abundance, you know, because you willing to give and you gonna receive, especially for some good game.
You hear that?
You know?
That's more game right there. Don't be frugal.
Yeah, you can't.
Don't be frugal.
We done spent a lot of money on our personal development and still do. So, you know, that's the only way to come up, you know, investing in yourself, because if you really have self-worth, you spending money on yourself because you're worth it.
Guys, I'm telling you, everyone watching this live, our community will be live. Just give me a week. I'm working on it. I'm making sure everything is all proper for you guys, making sure that you guys are going to get the most amount of value possible for a very affordable price. Like I said, we all want to see you guys winning. So this is going to be a really, really, really big deal, and I'm super excited for it. So
and that's another live episode of us dropping some gems. Game Guys Podcast. We out.
Peace. Oh man, that's gonna be a good one, bro. You know how many viral clips we just done got from that?